888-7753-773. Let me go to Mimi out of Georgia. Mimi,
Hi, Jesse.
are you on your way back home?
If only it was that simple.
I'm glad to hear from you. How are you?
I am good. I'm very good. I looked up, and today was Monday, which is Female Monday. So I was like, oh, my goodness, I have to reach out and say hello to Jesse.
Absolutely. Anytime. It's always good to hear from you.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, I just wanted to kind of follow up on our last conversation.
Okay. Absolutely.
So what's interesting is that I had mentioned that I was kind of already in the plans, already moving in that direction to be kind of done. But it didn't. The devil is so tricky because it got really, really complicated. And so it just kind of forced me to go back home where I was. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say. I think every time I try to leave, there's just this engagement that is, we've come this far and all these things are in place, and this false idea of all the love that is there. And I guess for me, I've been raised to always consider other people's feelings, even at my own expense. I'm just not very confrontational. Unless I feel comfortable. Then if I'm comfortable, we can confront anything. But
so let me ask, just to be clear,
okay.
So you moved in with this guy?
Yes. That was the whole move was to move in.
Okay, and you moved in, and then you realized after a while it's not working, right?
Oh yeah, it was very quick that the honeymoon was completely over. We realized that we are so on opposite sides on so many different things. Some of the things that he knows about, kind of where I stand on things, he will say really, really like hurtful things because it's so opposite of how he thinks and aligns his thinking. And I think I was listening to Fellowship, and there was one of the women had said, when she dated, what she really wanted was somebody to be obsessed with her, and she could be obsessed right back, and they would just be in all this like love and couldn't live without each other, and I think that's exactly what the person that I'm with wants. And that's just not my personality. And even when it was my personality, it just isn't anymore.
Hold that thought, Mimi. Let me take a quick break. Hold on. Hey, amazing. I want to go back to Mimi out of Georgia. So, Mimi, now that you realize this thing is not meant to be and it's not going to work, you moved back home? You moved out?
No. So I don't really have any connection to anyone out here in Georgia. The person that I'm with is the only connection that I have. And so that's a negative to answer that question. And also, I think let's just cut all the words, because I like to wrap things up in fancy words, or at least words that like make things seem pretty.
Yeah.
But the problem is that I don't know how to leave. I don't know how to be firm in my decision and to stand in truth. I choke, if you will. It doesn't take much for this person to say certain things, and I'm just like, well, I started out on this journey, and this is what I represented, and I need to continue to represent it. I need to follow this through. I'm always considering this person's feelings and how it looks. I know that there's tons and tons of ego involved in all of it, and I just don't know how to do it.
And who is telling you that you don't know how to do it and you should stay?
I mean, I know the answer to that.
So why are you listening to the devil, to evil lies?
I guess for me, I start to project what could happen.
But who's telling you that?
Jesus, Jesse.
Because you're staying in
Oh,
hell and it's only going to get worse. It's not going
oh,
to
I
get
know.
better.
Oh, no, I know that, and that's why it seems like sheer insanity that I am. Well, let me ask you this. So the
It
things
is
that
insanity, that's for sure.
okay.
It's insane, but
So
go ahead.
the things that the person is saying, this person that I'm with is saying to draw us back together, and is that the devil too speaking through him?
100%.
Because he cannot really reasonably think that it's all peaches and cream. Like it's not.
Right.
It's only peaches and cream until I leave, and then when I leave, it's only peaches and cream when I leave.
Yeah.
Then it's like, "Oh my gosh, you can't leave. Like we've worked on all this stuff." And I'm like, "Are you crazy? It has not been easy for either one of us." And I am not pointing the finger at him. I'm not pointing the finger at myself. I'm just saying it has not been easy on either one of us.
Of course. And it's only going to get worse if you stay. But you cannot live your life listening to what he says. You got to be in charge of your own life
Yeah, but
and, and,
Jesse, that
and
scares me.
do
That literally puts knots in my stomach. That literally makes me feel like I'm going to Earl.
you
I'm not
going
sure why.
you going to
I'm an
what?
adult. It literally makes me feel like I'm an Earl. Like I know I'm an adult. I know I'm an adult and it's my life to live. But I guess for me, I'm just like, well, I made this decision. I've got to walk it out. If I change my mind now, it means that I never loved him in the beginning. I
And you
know what you're going to
didn't.
say. I never, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you
And
were going to
you
say that.
did not make the decision to go and be with him. Evil made that decision and you fell for it because logically there was never a reason for you to go to be with him. Zero.
You're right. Because what is so crazy is that right before I left, I was feeling that feeling of loneliness,
Yes.
but it was for the first time I was really all by myself, not in a relationship. All of the distractions were gone and it just seemed so lonely. And then all of a sudden this came around and it got me busy again. It got me busy doing things and moving and excited. And then when all of that was gone, I realized just how duped I was.
But that's how evil operates. It makes you feel lonely. And if you believe that there is a you to feel lonely, and then they tell you, well, here is an exciting way out. I give you this. And if you listen to that, you'll follow that. And as soon as you follow that, then it goes back to, well, you're better off by yourself. Now you want to go be by yourself. And then they tell you, well, don't go by yourself. And you stay. It will destroy you as long as you're listening to thoughts. None of those ideas you ever had were your own. You have not realized yet that all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything, and you've been driven by thoughts and emotion, and they make you do things, and when you do them, and they're never going to turn out right, but when you do them, then evil laugh at you. The devil laugh at you. He laugh at you, and then he give you another idea.
Okay. I've believe me, I've sat not only in my hell, but by myself doing the silent prayer. And I know that to be true. But here's one thing that is really freezing my ability to move forward is that there's a thought that says, I'm not strong enough to do this. I'm too weak. I might as well just stay. I'm not strong enough to do this. I look stupid and I'm an idiot and I'm a liar. I'm a liar. I said that I loved him and now I'm leaving. I'm a liar. Why are you laughing? That was a very serious moment, Jesse. Oh my God. Oh my God. No. That's not what I expected. It's funny though, because literally that's exactly how I feel, is that I'm not strong enough. And for you to laugh at that, it's just crazy. I'm like, I know you're not laughing at me.
Right.
And that's what makes it so wild, is because those are the moments where you're supposed to go, oh, I can understand that pain and that that challenge and how that feels.
But yet, when you were telling me that, I'm thinking, is it your weakness that you're made strong? And you should stay in your weakness and then move away anyway. Go and do what you got to do anyway. And it's in your weakness that you will be made strong because God is allowing you to see, feel, and know that you're weak. So that, but He doesn't want you to do anything about it. Meaning, don't try to get rid of it. So He can come in and take weakness away from you and make you strong. But because you won't take any kind of action in your weakness, He cannot make you strong, and the devil will keep you weak.
Jesse,
Yeah.
that is brilliant. I said this last time. I'm going to say it again. What God does through you, like I said, you're amazing, but you're still just Jesse, and not just Jesse, but Jesse, whatever. But what God does through you is wild. Like, there's not even a word that is like good, bad, or indifferent. It's not even, it doesn't have that
Right.
like connotation to it, like it's good or it's bad. Like, it's just wild. It's really just wild. I'm not a spring chicken. I've never heard that in my entire life. And I know it's in the Bible, and I
Yeah.
know that there's a message that almost every pastor has ever tried to use as a sermon for Sunday service. I have never heard it that way, ever. Sorry, I'm being very dramatic.
But you're right, though, which is unfortunate. It's hard to find someone that really will allow themselves to go through hell to get to heaven so they can point the truth to you. You're not, it's hard to find, not in the family. Your parents are not like that. It's hard to find preachers like that because the preachers they're not working on themselves either. They're just learning the Bible and quoting the words back to you with no meanings at all.
Right, and I think that they use a lot of the scripture to make it situational.
Absolutely.
Like, but situational in a way that it doesn't really stick. Like, they'll just say, recite this. He makes me strong when I am weak, and all that kind
Right.
of stuff. But like, not really making the connection that it's really in those weak moments that you're supposed to be weak. Like, you're supposed
Yes.
to say that so that you can be strong, and then all of a sudden do something irrational and show that you're strong. It's not that. It's to sit in the weakness. I've never heard that before, Jesse, in my entire life.
And I understand that, but and it's unfortunate because most people run away from their weakness and run right into hell. They stay in hell by running from it. They take medication to try to make themselves feel better, or they go be with someone to make themselves feel better. They don't know. I gotta stay in this weakness. I gotta live with it. I gotta sleep with it. I gotta drive with it. I gotta be aware of it and do nothing about it. And I promise you, without a doubt, and a witness to it, He will save you from it. That's what He tried. He would change your nature from fear to perfect love. But you got to do it. This man is not for you.
Oh,
He
my
can't save
gosh.
you. And
Yeah,
he-
the demons inside of me are going crazy right now.
Yeah, they hate the truth. They don't want you to hear it. And the guy that you're with, he can't see. He's in hell too, telling you about hell, making false.
Oh, he's definitely.
Yeah, making false promises.
Oh, Jesse, I see. I want to talk to you, but then sometimes I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to hear what you don't want to hear.
No.
I know.
At
It's
some
crazy.
point, Mimi, you got to take complete control of your own life and stop looking to anyone to make you feel good, some man or anyone to make you feel good and make you feel this. That's not where you want to be. You want to have perfect peace, and you're not going to find that in another person, place, or thing. It's inside of you. So you
Right.
got to make your mind up if you want to be free. You know what? I'm going to stop running. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to take it. I'm going through hell so that I can arrive in heaven. And the
Okay.
hell is the death of the ego. the thoughts and the emotions.
Well, I think I'm not even trying to protect my ego. I'm trying to protect his, because ever since we got together, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you guys are such a great couple. Everything's so amazing. He's gotten so much attention from us being together that I don't want to take that away from him.
That's insane.
It sounds stupid. I know you're laughing straight to my face.
You can't even take away your own pain. Why are you trying to take away someone else? And the people who are telling you, "Oh, you guys are so pretty together," they're on the outside looking outside. They don't see the real what's happening inside.
Oh, they have no idea.
Yeah. and then if you fall for it, you're falling for another trick, because that ego feeling that you get from that is not going to solve your problem inside the home or inside of you.
Okay.
You do what you want, of course, but I would tell this guy, okay, thank you, bye.
Jesse, nothing works like that. That's not a real world.
You
said that last time.
That is the real world. This way you're doing it, it's the fake world.
Okay.
The real world is to overcome hell. It's to say,
well, but see, this is the thing. If I say it like that, all hell is going to break loose.
Meaning what?
Here on Earth.
Meaning what?
Oh, the things he's going to say, the things he's going to, I don't think he's going to do anything in the sense, but he has a propensity for evil to spew everywhere.
And you care about that? Why?
Rare. I don't know. I was taught like this, to always mitigate things, like make sure that there's least amount of damage to anything.
You need to unlearn. You've been taught wrong. Everything you've been taught in life has been wrong. You need to get rid of all your little morals and all your little values and all these stupid things you've been taught, so that the Spirit of the Father can teach you in the right way, give you a clear mind.
Right.
Because you're never going to live up to what you've been taught. It's not real. It's an illusion.
Right. Okay.
You got to get serious about this is your life, and you're looking in all the wrong places for help.
Okay.
This guy, stop looking for yesterday. Did you hear yesterday fellowship?
I started to. I was listening to it this morning, which is what made me look up and say, "Oh my gosh, it's Female Mondays," and I'm off today, so let me try.
I want you to know that your relationships, and nobody on earth relationships, are ever going to work, whether they're married or not. They're not going to work, and the reason they're not going to work, because there's a principle, and we talked about this yesterday, a rule given to us by God, is that we should seek first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added. And if you have a relationship on your mind, you think about some guys or a guy, or you're thinking about love, or you're thinking about this or that, then you're not seeking the kingdom first, and you're going to always end up with the wrong person, because that person will be your guy, and they will destroy you.
If I interact with him, can I say that?
Say what?
I'm busy seeking out God's righteousness over everything.
I wouldn't plan what I'm going to say, but yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
He's going to try to talk to you out.
I'm looking for protection. Like I said, I'm really honestly not. This situation makes me feel really weak, and I'm like, what's going to protect me from all the evil that this person is going to spew?
But why are you concerned about that? That's their evil, has nothing to do with you. And if they are evil like that, that's more of a reason to get away from them.
Okay.
Why would you want to see that a person's evil and yet you want to stay with them?
Okay.
They're going to destroy you. And the devil inside of you is already destroying you, because it's evil who convincing you to stay with evil.
Right.
Feel sorry for them. They are hurt. They're really trying. You listen to evil, that's why you're suffering. When you're tired of suffering, Mimi, then you get on track and you stay.
Okay.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Let's say every other day, both morning and night.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
No.
Did God say do it every day, or I mean, all the time, or every other day?
All the time.
Why don't you obey Him? God knows everything. He knows about relationships. He's a better expert on relationships than we could ever be. He knows everything. Why don't you finally put Him first, seeking what's right and not even thinking about men or any
Okay.
kind of relationship?
Right. That's true.
Why don't you do that?
Because my ego told me that I was supposed to be in a relationship, and that I've been listening to that since I was way far too young.
Yeah. I understand that, but it's time to stop listening to that.
Okay.
There's not but one relationship you need to be concerned about, and that's your relationship with truth, with the Father. That's the
Okay.
only relationship you need to be concerned about.
All right, Jesse, way to start Female Mondays.
What? No.
Yeah,
But you gotta,
I knew I was going to get the truth.
You got to get serious about your life. You're responsible for your life. This is your world inside of you, and only you can work on your world.
Okay.
So do what you want, but I'll just tell this guy, bye, see you later, and be gone.
Okay.
And stop listening to the thoughts. They're setting you up for destruction. And they know that you want what's right, because if you didn't want what's right, you wouldn't be calling me, or you wouldn't attend the bar meetings and things like that. They know you want what's right, and they do not want to depart from you. So they're working overtime to make you think that the lie is the truth. They want you to think it's you, and it's not.
Okay. Okay. That's all I got, Jesse. That's all I got. And I appreciate everything that you said.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
All right, Jesse. We'll have a great week. I appreciate everything.
Stop playing with the devil. Say no to the devil, and don't play with him anymore.
Okay.
All right. I wish you well. Maybe call me again.
I will. Thank you, Jesse.
All right.
Okay.
Bye. Amazing. Maya out of Michigan. Maya, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Maya.
Hi. I have a question to you about the silent prayer.
Uh-huh.
So when I do the prayer, I just noticed that it's not so much the thoughts, it's more the emotions that are intense, like sadness and loneliness, or sometimes anger.
Right.
And then that makes me feel like very heavy, not to have any energy or a lack of desire to do anything. And so I guess I'm wondering, I've been doing it for a while, and sometimes it shifts, but it keeps coming back. So then I wonder what I'm supposed to do with those, or as I'm witnessing that.
What you don't realize, you cannot have those emotions of loneliness, of this or that, unless you have the thoughts first. Emotion does not come by themselves. They are brought up on you with thoughts. And so you're not catching the thought, you're just feeling the emotion. And what I recommend that you start doing is paying attention so you can catch the thoughts before you feel the emotions. The emotions are fake, the thoughts are fake, but you're just not catching the emotions. I mean the thoughts.
And if I notice the thoughts, so should I try to stop thinking those thoughts, or just kind of observe them or do I need to do anything?
Can you hold for me? Let me take a break. Hold on, do not hang up. Maya, I believe. Yeah, Maya out of Michigan. Maya, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Yes. So I was wondering about the thoughts and what to do with the thoughts during the silent prayer and the emotions, how to navigate the two.
All you should do and can do, if you want to be free from them, do nothing about them. You just need to be aware that you're having these thoughts, you're having these emotions. Don't call them you. Don't argue with them. Do not try to get rid of them. Just be aware of them. And then the awareness is coming from the light of God in you, and He will destroy the thoughts. The thoughts and emotions are spirits of darkness, and the light will destroy the darkness. Don't try to do anything about it, because if you do, you're giving false life to it, and you're keeping them alive in you, and they will destroy you.
I guess the challenge I have is that they are kind of draining me energy-wise. So then I feel depleted. So even though I'm observing them, I just feel quite exhausted.
Give me an example. It means like you can't go to work or you can't move about?
Well, I'll go to work, but then I'm just exhausted when I come back, because it's like I kind of have to force myself to go to work because I feel so tired. And then when I get back, I'm just really exhausted.
Do you have any medical condition going on there?
No.
Okay. Well, what I recommend is that, because you may be identified with the thoughts and feeling, and you're feeling lonely or you're feeling afraid,
right?
And you identify with it, and it makes you not want to get up and do what you got to do. Don't identify with it. And if you catch yourself identified, just know you're identified with it, but it's not you, and get up and go to work and do your thing and have your day anyway, and let it be. Live with it, walk with it, sleep with it, but do nothing about it. And it will be destroyed, because that's the thing that made a home in your imagination when you became angry with your mother when she traumatized you. You went into that world. You went into the dark world of your imagination, and you've been living there all your life thinking that it was you.
So when you say not to oh, sorry, go ahead.
So you think that you're feeling these things, you think you're thinking those things, and you're not.
And so how do you get the space? Because I do feel like, yeah, those emotions are me. So how do I get space from that?
By not calling them you. Like you could quietly say to yourself, until you don't have to say it anymore, I see those thoughts, or I feel that emotion, but it's not me. I feel lonely, I feel afraid, but I know it's not me. So you can stop identifying with it. And when you stop identifying with it, it loses its grip on you. And yes, you're going to feel the pain. It's in your body, but it's not in you. You're not your body. It's in your body, it's in your flesh, but it's not in you.
And you still go about your life as normal.
100%. 100%. And don't be murmuring to other people about it. Don't look all pitiful at work. And don't be trying to make your friends feel sorry for you. You wash your face and go about your day.
So what's the difference between that and ignoring it? Like, is that different?
What do you mean by ignoring it?
So, for example, like you said, okay, so I'm saying this isn't me. I see it, and then I'm just going to go about my day, versus ignoring how I feel. Is there a difference between the two?
Well, repeat what define ignore for me one more time. Sorry.
Like, I guess I'm trying to figure out if there's a difference between just ignoring how you're feeling, or the same, like this, like recognizing that I'm feeling sad, or lonely, but I'm still gonna.
Yeah, you definitely want to be aware of how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. But do nothing about how you're feeling. Don't even call it you, because in all honesty, there's no such thing as loneliness. It's impossible for you to be lonely. In all honesty, it's impossible for you to be sad or worry or have doubt or fear. That's the fake you that made a home in you, and you thought it was you all your life, and no one ever told you, hey, Maria, that's not you. Stop calling it you. Drop your anger so you can overcome it. So the real you have never been lonely, could never be lonely, ain't gonna ever be lonely. It's the false you that's lonely, not you. But you call it you, so it feel like you. You identify with it.
And then how do you know, so because you're saying we can't really trust, thoughts or something like that. So how do you know which part of yourself to trust?
By not trusting any part of you.
I don't get that.
There's nothing about you that you should trust. There's no part of you that you should trust. Just as you can't trust other people, you cannot trust yourself either.
But we still have to lead our life and make decisions and all that stuff.
No, you don't. The only decision you have to make, and even those decisions are given to you. What you want for dinner? Do you want a blue house or a black house, a red house? Do you want a couch in your house, or you want to sit on the floor? All the thing do you want a car? You want to take the bus? Just basic life decisions that you have to make, and even those decisions are made for you. You don't even make those decisions. You just think that you are. But there's not one decision that you need to make or can make or have made.
So do you mean we should be more like passive?
Passive?
Yeah.
No. What do you mean by passive?
Like just, I guess, let things happen in life instead of taking action.
That's a good question. Anything that want or need to happen to your false self, your ego, let it happen. Do not protect your ego. If somebody try to hurt your feelings, let them hurt them. And you will see that you're not your feelings. If you feel lonely, feel the loneliness, and you'll see there's no such thing as you being lonely. If you feel like you need to join a group to get a false sense of identity, don't join the group. And let yourself see, I can stand alone. If you feel like you want to go see mama, that you need to go see mama, but you really don't want to go see mama because you don't like mama anyway, then don't go. You got to, and you start to see that everything you thought and felt was evil, was an illusion, was not real.
Okay, thank you. I think I have to practice a little bit. Yeah, thank you.
What, is that clear? Anything about that you don't quite understand yet?
Well, I think I have to practice getting some space from my feelings, probably, because I have been identifying with it. So
Yes.
I think I need to get some space from it. Yeah.
Don't call all emotions are lies. And they come from lies because they come from the imagination. They come from thoughts. You don't need to be emotional. The good emotions, so-called good, and the so-called bad, they're both impostures.
That makes sense. And what are you left with after?
Life. Real life.
Okay.
Perfect peace. Have you gone and forgiven your mother? No.
So I have been no contact with my mom for over 10 years. I feel like I've worked on it. I know you say you have to go in person, but I don't feel like I can do that. But I have logically kind of I understand that she did the best she could. But I do feel a lot of sadness around her. So that's the stuff that comes up for me is around that. So, I mean, I don't know.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
I haven't gone, no.
How will God forgive you if you don't go and forgive her, shaking in your boots so you can be free? How will he forgive you if you don't forgive?
Well, I haven't been in touch with her for over 10 years, like I said. So
And what does it
is
have to
there,
do with today?
well, because, yeah, my family's quite dysfunctional. So to be honest, I'd be scared to go over. I'd be
All
scared to
families
go
are
over there.
dysfunction. So why?
I'd be scared to go there
Why?
because she has a pretty bad temper, and I just, yeah, I don't know how she would react.
And will she hurt you physically?
I don't know. I hope not. I don't think so.
So you're
But
just
I don't
afraid
know.
of how
Yeah.
she will react?
Yeah.
Why don't you face that fear? That fear is controlling your whole life. It's keeping you from being you. Why don't you face that fear? As long as she's not going to hurt you physically. Can you FaceTime with her?
I don't know. I don't know if she has FaceTime, but because yeah, we haven't been in touch for over 10 years, so I don't know.
And so, as long as she's not going to hurt you physically, how will you overcome her if you don't face her? Shaking
I don't
in
know.
your
I've
boots.
tried.
You haven't.
Yeah.
You have not tried to go and forgive your mother.
Well, I've written a letter.
You have not tried to go and forgive your mother.
Well, not in person, right?
You have not tried. So why don't you face her and don't worry about what she's going to say or how she's going to act. That's her hell, and you want to overcome her hell that she gave to you.
I do, but I guess because I'm too hurt by what she's done, so I don't want to face her.
But the hurt is not coming from what she's done. The hurt is coming from you hating her, being angry at her. That's the hurt. The hurt is keeping your soul from being free. And what she done to you happened years ago. Your body has healed, but your spirit has not because you won't go and forgive. And
but I guess why do I need to forgive if she's the one who did it?
Well, you don't need to forgive. You can live in your hell.
Well, I don't want to live in my hell.
Well, if you didn't want to, you would go and forgive.
Yeah. Is that the only way?
According to God, if you want to enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive. And I will forgive you when you forgive. Forgiveness is simply me. I'm sorry for resenting you for what you've done to me, Mama. I realize now you couldn't help yourself because you're just like her. The struggle you're having in your mind and emotion, those are her struggles. She passed them on to you when you became angry at her. You feel exactly what she's feeling.
You. Yeah, I agree with you. I can notice some resemblance.
No, you just like your mama. She's never satisfied.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I feel a lot of fear, so that's a little bit hard for me. But
that's why you need to face her because of the fear. And the fear you will see was never real. It's an illusion. And that illusion is keeping you from becoming free because you won't face it. You won't forgive. And the devil said, why doesn't she apologize? She's the one who did it to me. Why doesn't she? Like, that has something to do with your life. You are responsible for you, not your mama.
So I guess my question is, do I have, like you said, FaceTime? Can I just do it looking at a picture of her?
No. What the? There's no There's no fear or courage in looking at a picture. What the? You got to shake in your boot and face her. And however she react, that's on her. Don't you react to her overreaction. Let her yell, let her scream, let her call your name, let her blame you, let her blame your father. And does your father live with her?
Yeah.
And when you were growing up and you were asked your father to help you deal with your mother, did he help you?
No, but my dad was an alcoholic and abusive, so they had a pretty bad marriage.
Abusive to whom?
To my mom.
That's because she had hell to pay. He didn't know how to deal with the hell in her in the same way you don't know how to deal with the hell in her. He was afraid of her in the same way you're afraid of her. He loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with her, so he became a drunk.
I don't know. I think he was drunk before he met her.
Of course, he married a woman that he hated. He hated his mother.
Mm-hmm.
You got to forgive your father for not protecting you from her.
So if I do that, does that mean I still have to be in touch with them?
Not at all.
Okay.
It means that you finally be able to live your life with no guilt, no memories of the past, no thought of the future. You will live one with the Father and you will be free. You will become a whole person. All right?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jesse.
You have your work cut out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to work on you. If you want to be free, you got to work on you. You're a grown person. Our parents are responsible for us as children, but as adults, we are responsible for ourselves.
I agree. Thank you so much.
I wish you well.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good evening.
All right.
Bye.
Bye now. Amazing. I was thinking, reflecting. I was watching a little Jesse Waters there on Fox yesterday, and he was showing the attack upon Elon Musk. Musk. And he was talking about how at one time, the people who are attacking Elon Musk now, they loved Elon Musk before he started working for the Great White Hope. They loved him. They loved his cars, his energy cars, whatever you call those cars, and his electric cars, because they're supposed to be caring about the planet and all that mess. They're supposed to be caring about the environment. And so Elon Musk was the thing. Everybody and their mama, if you're black, and everybody and their mama, if you're white, wanted an Elon Musk electric car. Tesla, that's your name. They wanted one. Elon Musk was a man. Never mind, he came from Africa. They didn't care about that then. And they loved Elon. And now that Elon Musk is working with the Great White Hope, Donald Trump, trying to make America great again, they hate him. They hate him now. There's a thin line between love and hate. First you love me, then you hate me. That's a game for a fool. They hate him now. And I thought, this is so interesting to me. It's really interesting to me. It may not be to you, but it is to me. I was thinking, it's amazing human nature is not of love at all. You can love someone this very minute and hate them the very next minute. If they said something or did something that you didn't agree with, that went beyond your idea of things, immediately that person become your enemy or those people. Because you or they didn't agree with you. I've tried to tell you that human love is not love. Human love is hate. And that's why it doesn't work. You can't make it work. You can't force it to work. You can try, but it won't work. But and so in thinking about Elon Musk and what he's dealing with right now, they are, according to all of the reports, they are attacking his businesses, setting his cars on fire. They're throwing these little firebombs into it. They, in some cases, according to the report, they've shot in the window, shooting in the window, breaking glass. According to a report up in Oregon, shot fired at a dealership in Oregon. These same people that loved him have turned on him. Has that ever happened to you? And have you ever done that to anyone? You loved them until they disagreed with you, or until they told you the truth about something that you didn't want to hear. Has that ever happened to you? Or have you ever done anything like that to anyone? Yes, you have. And it's amazing to see it. But it's human nature. I'm learning so much by observing. Not judging, just observing how wicked, evil human beings are. And in that wicked emotional state, we all want to think that we're good. Human beings will tell you really fast they're good. Well, what's good about you? Well, I gave money to the homeless. I went to help my mama. I did this. That doesn't make you good. What the? But I want you to pay attention if you want to overcome. The way that they're treating Elon Musk is the way you treat others and they treat you. In your family, your husband and wife relationships, boyfriend girlfriend relationships, so-called friendship, business, whatever ship. You don't love one another at all. You're calling love hate. You're calling hate love. And then you switch. Just like that. And they're doing this to Elon. Elon said that they, in an interview, they want to kill him. They want to kill him. They really want to just destroy him. All because they disagree with him. He had a change of mind for whatever reason and decided that he wanted to help make America great again. That's the only thing he did. And they hated for it. And I guarantee you, without a doubt, if Elon said, you know what, I'm sorry, I was just playing. I want to go back with y'all. I want to join your group again. I'm going to make some cars and Donald Trump is wrong and we're going to stop Trump. Those haters would pretend they love him then. The same way with you, when you can't handle the pressure that comes upon you from your family. You know how mama go and turn the family against you? When you go and tell mama, I'm sorry for resenting you, for turning me away from my father or imposing your will on me or causing me to be angry. I know now you couldn't help yourself. What does mama do? Instead of mama saying, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, I was wrong. My mother said she was wrong. I'm sorry. But most mothers won't. And what does mama do? Mama go and talk to your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, anyone she can so that she could build an army against you. And blind people join the army. You've never done anything to them at all, but they join the army of mama. And you become the enemy. And you have not done anything to... Elon Musk has not done anything to these people, period. But they have joined the army against him. And they are trying to destroy him. They want to kill him, according to Elon Musk. Think about that. Think about that. That's happening in your life, in your family life, in your relationships, and you are thinking that it's normal. And somehow or another, you're going to make it right. You can't make evil right. You have to overcome evil with good. And you don't know what good is. Not your good. You have no goodness. We have a clip of Elon Musk.
Yeah, I believe so.
And what is it saying?
Well,
let's see. We have a clip of Elon Musk being asked why he continued to do what he's doing. Oh, good. The Time and the Sunday Times. Let's hear that. Or see it and hear it.
They're setting fire to various Tesla charging stations near Boston. Shots were fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Various nonviolent...
Shots fired, not a metaphor.
Shots fired, yes. Downtown New York, marching against the Tesla showroom. Your stock is way down. You've been criticized left and right.
But look on the bright side.
I mean, why are you doing this?
Always look on the bright side of life.
Yes. And you're on it.
Yeah. I mean, so the goal here is let's not have America go bankrupt with waste and fraud.
Amazing, huh? And they were asked us, Elon, are you going to stop? With all this stuff that's happening to you, are you going to give up? No. The one thing I love about seeking to overcome, once you get some light, a little light, real light, the real deal, not the fake light in your mind, you think you got the light, right? Once you really see the light, you can't give up. You cannot. And the attack comes like nothing going north from the outside and from the inside in your imagination. But you can't give up because now you've seen a little bit about the light. You see the truth. And there's nothing to go back to. There's nothing to give up for. And so you have to keep going. You have to keep going. Isn't that amazing? I love the light. And the light will make you free. I would encourage you, do what you want. But I would invite the light to come in and change me. And the light will come if you invite it. If you invite him to come in, he will come in and he will change you. And there will be nothing to stop him from changing you. But you got to invite him in. You can't pretend and play with it now. You can't fool the light. What the? You think you're going to trick the light so you can get what you think you want, and you make a fool out of the light. It doesn't work that way. But you can invite the light to come in, and the light will come, and it will change you. And the darkness will try to tell you, oh, it's not going to work. The light ain't going to change. What the? You might well give up. You're not going to be like somebody. The light not going to change you. It'll try to convince you. And if you believe it, you'll go back to darkness, and it'll be worse for you. But the light will change you, folks, and will give you a clear mind. And that's what you need, a clear mind. You need understanding. Above all getting understanding. And an understanding will make you free. It really, really, I'm telling you, I'm black and slow. But it will change you. But you got to invite it in. And you got to be serious about it. Meaning that you can't be trying to fool the light because you want to get away with robbing a bank. And then you get caught robbing a bank. Now you want the light. What the? You got to be serious about it. And the light will come. Because if you don't, you never will be able to handle what Elon Musk is dealing with, or Donald Trump. You won't be able to handle that at all. You can't even handle the little stuff that people say or do to you right now on your little lower level. You can't handle that. You cry. At night, you cry. And even if you're not crying tears, you're crying in your mind. You're crying in your mind, in your imagination. You're crying. You can't handle anything. One loss, one breakup, one rumor, one doubt, one whatever, you cry. You cry, and then you find people to gather around you so they can say, "Oh, poor you," and then you feel like the star of the show because you're crying, and all the people in the audience are feeling bad for you. And they're only doing it, the people in the audience are only feeling bad for you, the ones that have gathered around, because in their own mind, they're stars too. They're going to cry. And they need you to appreciate their tears and feel bad for them. It's all an act. When she's crying, she's lying. It's all an act. You're the star for now. And then the next time somebody else around you cry, you make them the star. And they love being the star. They're getting all the attention because they're hurt. They're crying. And you gladly accommodate them because one day you're going to cry. And you need them to appreciate your tears. What a mess! If ever. I really wish Elon Musk well and Donald Trump. The attack is amazing, but it's amazing watching them deal with it. It really is. Just having a little space there and watching it without judgment is amazing. It's inspiring. Weakness is not inspiring. Strength is. And when you're weak, you're strong. So some of you know this. Joel Friday had one time applied to become a LA police. Yeah, LAPD. Can you see Joel ride up and down the hood? And so, but because he was honest during the interview, they didn't hire him. And he was like, what? He didn't know he was supposed to lie. So they turned out the best man for a cop. Exactly what LA needed. That's not what they wanted. So apparently, according to KTLA 5, a complaint filed with Los Angeles Police Department alleges that officers and supervisors were recorded making racist comments and other derogatory remarks. Watch this from KTLA 5.
Yeah, all of this according to an explosive LA Times investigation reporting a Los Angeles police officer working in the department's recruitment office recorded dozens and dozens of conversations for the better part of a year. These recordings revealing cops spewing racist, sexist, and homophobic comments. Now, all of this according to a complaint filed with the LAPD and reviewed by the LA Times, detailing roughly 90 recordings made inside the recruiting division, portraying officers and supervisors voicing open discrimination against potential recruits and colleagues based on race, sex, and sexual orientation. These are the same officers tasked with deciding who can join the LAPD.
And she's trying to make it sound like it's so important. This is such a serious issue. Why would you hire anyone in your company that can handle a joke once in a while? And all people do this. They make jokes when you work together, you make jokes. But you got these victims now, and you got to protect the victims even at work. I want you to hear a few of the officers' conversation. Watch this.
Now, in one conversation, take a look at this. A Latina LAPD officer offered this advice on how to fight African Americans, saying, quote, "You hit black people in the liver. I heard they got weak livers," according to the complaint filed January 5th with the LAPD's Professional Standards Bureau and the Inspector General's office. The same officer allegedly describing a Latina janitor to her colleagues as, quote, wetback. But the complaint is accusing a Sergeant Denny Jong, of leading the prejudicial banter. In one conversation with subordinates about Dodger baseball legend Fernando Valenzuela's death from septic shock, saying, quote, "I know why he died. He ate too many tacos." The complaint also claiming officers reportedly referred to black people as monkeys.
What? poor people, they hurt your feelings by saying those things. And now they should get fired for saying those things about you. What the? What have America become? When you're in a high-stress environment, what do you expect to happen? Especially when you have blacks and Hispanics and women all in the same place. You gotta let the stress go some kind of way. Aren't you supposed to have a little fun? Ain't nothing wrong with having a little fun. My country has changed. It's weak now. Everybody except the white people are victims. The only people in my country who are strong are the whites. And this is their country. But everybody else is a victim. Everybody else but the white people. LAPD Chief Jim McDonald removed a lieutenant, sergeant, and 4 officers for recruiting, with more cuts expected, leaving the LAPD with its lowest officer count in nearly 30 years. Watch this.
When news of this complaint broke, Chief Jim McDonald at the LAPD removed a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 4 officers from the unit, saying he was deeply disappointed by these reports. Now, a scandal in the LAPD's recruiting office couldn't come at a worse time. The LAPD is struggling to recruit new officers, with more than 100 cops expected to leave the force by next year, dropping the department to the lowest amount of officers it's seen in roughly 30 years.
Amazing. Why don't they tell those crybabies to go home? Why not tell them to go home? If you're such a baby, mama baby, go home and let us just do our work. They just playing. Don't you know yourself better enough to know that it's not you? They just joking around. Human beings joke with one another. But no, they got to protect them. They should have hired Joel Friday. He never did that. Oh, no. They hired crybabies. Cry, cry, baby. My country's weak. I want my country back. It's not coming back. So I'll just live for my own world. In the LAPD, now they need more officers. Everybody's going to be afraid to go down there and get a job, especially if you're white. Or if you're non-white, but you're not going to be able to make a joke. Not out loud. And even if you made a joke in private to another officer while on the job or y'all talking after work, they may get mad at you and one day go back and tell, oh, he made a joke about the gays, or about the blacks, about the women. And it had nothing to do with you away from work. It's amazing how human beings want to control you because they're insecure. That's why they want to do it. Hank is telling me, I heard that the more cops on the scene, the less police brutality they need to use. The safer for both cops and suspect, according to a research from Dr. John R. Lott Jr., a former guest. You know what's sad about this, if I may use that word? The children that will be born now and Generation Z, X, whatever they are, they're never going to know real America. They're going to think this is the way the country will always. They're not going to know the greatness of this country. Let me go to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Brother Jesse? What's going on with you?
All is well, Rick.
Hey, you know the young lady that hit the girl upside the head with the baton yesterday?
Yes.
Her high school is 30 minutes from where I stay at.
Really?
I.C. Norcom, yes. The girl that hit the young lady in the head with the baton, her high school is 30 minutes from where I stay at. I used to go to work there. I used to pass that high school every day.
That's amazing. Well, be careful if you're going to watch the track team. You may get hit. Be careful.
Hey, and here's another thing too, Jesse. On that same note, you remember the church incident when that pastor when they disciplined the young girl? That wasn't happening too. That was about 10 minutes from it.
Oh, the pregnant girl.
Yeah,
amazing.
Absolutely. And that was about 10 minutes from it. So yeah, man. And can I answer the biblical question?
Okay, that young girl apologized. I don't know how real it is, but she apologized for hitting the girl. She was saying it was a.
She didn't apologize.
Huh?
She did not apologize. I don't think she apologized.
This is from WAYB TV 10. Alayla Everett, a track star and senior at IC Norcom High School, is speaking out following shocking footage where she struck an opponent in the head with a baton and allegedly injured her during a relay race. So here's one of the sound bites from her. She maybe she didn't apologize, but she made a comment. Here's the first soundbite from WAVY TV 10.
The young athlete in question says there's more to that video than meets the eye.
Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right?
Alayla Everett is a decorated athlete and senior at IC Norcom High School. She would have never thought her trip to the Class 3 track and field state finals last Tuesday would take a drastic turn.
They're going off of one angle.
Alayla visibly emotional because of this video from the meet. This was a 4x200 meter relay race, and she and a Brookville High School athlete were rounding a curve on the track when they nearly collided with each other.
After a couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit.
It appears intentional, but Alayla says it was accidental.
But I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose.
So allegedly, she hit this woman upside the head with a baton, and now she worried about her mental status. What now?
Yes, man.
And here's
where my child.
Here's where her parents were outraged at the backlash. Watch this.
I didn't have to see your first video, second video, 10 video. I know 100% that she won't do this to nobody.
Her parents outraged at the backlash. The IC Norcom relay team was disqualified, a ruling that a local USA track and field official finds questionable. He says a play-by-play look shows that the Brookville athlete was running closely to Alayla.
If a person comes up on the outside, they got to be a full stride ahead of me before they can cut in front of me.
The other family spoke with the news station in Roanoke asking for an apology from Alayla, something she wants to give, but she says the other athlete hasn't been receptive, blocking her on social media, and instead the Everett family was served with court papers.
And now we have to go to a city 3 hours away that everybody hates our guts already.
They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video.
What the?
I mean, I would love to be said.
Amazing. And so, Rick, did you hear that?
Yes. Here's my thing on that, Jesse. That'd have been my son doing that. I would have got my son. He would have apologized before you know it. And then, what they expect to get? What they want them to do? Throw their daughter a birthday party? You would almost cave the young girl's skull in, and you told you're an emotional being. The best.
You make a good point. I believe, and I don't know because you never know. Human beings are so evil nowadays. But if this girl just had said, you know what, I'm so sorry, I was so wrong. Even if when she hit the girl it was an accident, she should have stopped running right then and really helped her. That would be a whole different story had she done that.
Yep.
But she didn't do any of that. Now she up there crying about they hate me. I gotta go to a whole nother town for court where everybody already hate me. Rick?
Hold on a minute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Justin.
Rick, go to work.
Yep. Oh, no. I was talking to one of the best
Rick,
go ahead, Justin.
Rick, go to work. Yes, call me later.
Okay, we'll do. We'll do.
All right, but what? He tried to work and be on the phone. I understand. 888-775-3773. This girl is still not showing any I'm so sorry. I should have dealt with this differently. If I didn't mean to hit her. But I don't hear any of that.
When she's crying, she's lying.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
I totally rest my case.
That was so black. But that was so, human nature in total denial.
Yeah. Even with
on the parents' part, too.
Yeah. Even with the parent.
And it's funny because it is true. The social media people, this went super viral, I bet. And I would not doubt that people would be calling her all kinds of names, being nasty to her.
Yeah, the people see her cry, they're gonna make it even worse for her. Because they love the thrill of hurting people.
Yeah. Derek, especially in revenge. Derek pointed out there was a chirp in her background. She needed to change her or her parents needed to change her smoke detector.
No, there was?
Mm-hmm.
With that black girl?
Yeah. I didn't hear it in this clip, but I heard it on Twitter. Somebody tagged you on X saying when she's crying, she's lying.
That's for sure.
She was pushing way out. They're acting like it's her fault, the girl who was passing her. But she was pushing out to the outside of the lane, and I know how you do that to try to prevent them from passing.
Yeah.
You go further out and kind of elbow them. It was all her fault.
Derek said, this generation cooked. The lack of accountability is incredible. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I want to ask you your opinion about this hate. This is from Fox 5, New York. A judge has blocked the deportation of Mahmoud Khalil. And Mahmoud, a lawful U.S. citizen.
No, not a citizen. He has a green card. He's a
resident. Sorry about that. My bad. A lawful U.S. resident and pro-Palestine activist who was arrested Saturday by immigration and custom enforcement agents in response to President Donald Trump's executive order prohibiting anti-Semitism. Watch this from Fox 5.
The View and the lawyer for Mahmoud Khalil is telling us tonight that he is in ICE custody, but he is not in custody here in New York. He is in Louisiana. That is where he has been transferred to. He was picked up on Saturday night. Now, the Trump administration wants him deported, but a judge is saying, hold on just a moment. He is blocking that, at least for now, because Khalil has a court hearing here in New York on Wednesday. We want justice, we want peace. A couple hundred protesters demonstrated outside the ICE field office in Lower Manhattan, demanding the release of Mahmoud Khalil. Some demonstrators clashing with police, leading to their arrest. Khalil, a graduate student at Columbia University until last December, was detained by ICE Saturday after agents showed up at his apartment, which is owned by the university.
The attack on Mahmoud Khalil is intended to make them quake in their boots and to make all of us quake in our boots.
About 70 faculty members with Columbia and Barnard College, along with immigration and civil rights activists, speaking out in support of Khalil. He is a Palestinian activist who has played a role in the anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian protests on campus.
Why would the faculty support? Why would they be speaking, period, but why would they support a person that is pro-Hamas people?
I know why.
In America. and Trump administration want him deported for his anti-Semitic activity. What's this?
His lawyer releasing a statement saying that he is, quote, someone who has never committed a crime and who has simply expressed his political opinions. But the Trump administration sees it differently. The administration has designated Hamas a terrorist organization. Many of the protests, some of them violent, have included language and written material used by Hamas. Jewish students have also been harassed for being Jewish. Khalil is not in the U.S. on a student visa. He is a legal permanent resident with a green card. His wife is a U.S. citizen.
He is in real danger, and each of you bear substantial moral responsibility for that fact.
President Trump posting on social media. We know there are more students at Columbia and other universities across the country who have engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American activity, and the Trump administration will not tolerate it. We will find, apprehend, and deport these terrorist sympathizers.
Why would anybody want terrorist sympathizers in our country? That's dangerous. Especially the teachers standing up for it and everything.
If this guy is a terrorist sympathizer, and these teachers are, it's because the terrorists are good at presenting themselves as victims. Just like, you know how blacks do that? Even though blacks are the most violent towards the other races, not the other way around. Same thing with Hamas and the Palestine. It's become very trendy to side with Palestine as the victims.
And so now they're saying that he is a sympathizer with this, right? Don't America know that these people think that we are the great Satan? They hate us worse than they hate the Jews. And they in our country, and they know that we're not going to do anything with them saying death to America and all that. And Allah, what do they expect to happen?
I know, and he just has a green card. Those things, you're not supposed to be protesting and siding with terrorists, quote unquote, with a green card. And he's married to a citizen, I heard.
And
a
so
supposed citizen.
When they say he is a lawful U.S. resident, that just means he lived here with the green card, but he's not a citizen.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He married a quote unquote American, and I don't know if he's graduated already or if he's a graduate student, still a student, or what, but he's living on that campus. And as you know, the campus people, the academic world, are also kind of enemies of America.
Yeah.
They hate what's right.
Yeah, they do.
So they're siding with this guy.
But that's crazy, though. It's like somebody chanted death to America. Oh, okay, well, you could stay. They don't these people like put bombs on themselves. They die, and they say they die being a martyr or something
Martyr,
like that.
yeah.
Martyr. When you're willing to die to be a martyr, why would you want anybody like that in your country?
Yeah, the whites are such pushovers, and it's not just the whites. It's it's worse than just the whites. It's like the leadership aspect of the country. This judge who's blocking this deportation, all these 70 professors and all of them, Jews against deportation. In the
so Jews against it too?
Yeah, because they're
what's wrong with the Jews?
It's typically liberals who are professors.
Oh, so liberal Jews are for the Allahu Akbar people?
They are for, they're for the victims. They're against America. They're against America being strong and protecting itself.
I wonder who is paying for this stuff, because these kids don't have money to be out protesting every day.
Well, we can doge and get rid of a lot of the subsidizing of these people and these universities and colleges.
888-775-3773. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. I want my country back. It's gone. I've been trying to encourage you. Do what you want, of course, to overcome your anger. And I'm always hearing people say that, well, you can't. You need anger. You can control anger, but you can't overcome anger. And they lie when they say you can control it. You cannot control anger. It's the spirit. And you cannot control spirit, either good or evil. So I've been trying to encourage you to overcome, but I want to give you some examples of what anger, and these are just small examples. Well, big example, but small example, because anger is causing you to do everything you're doing in your life today. And it's not good. But you take credit for it because you think you are your anger. There's this quote about anger from a guy, a name I can never... Albertano of Brescia. Where is Brescia? Is that a coffee? Is it an Italian name? Brescia? Oh, okay. It's just a name. It's not a place. Right? I'm listening to Derek. It's not a location. It's a name, huh? What? Oh, so Albertano of Brescia is his name. How did he get the name Albertano of Brescia? What the? But anyway. Yeah,
because Brescia, or whatever, however it's said, is apparently an Italian city.
Oh, no,
so
Derek said that's his name.
Right, it's his name.
His
you
name
asked
is
where
Brescia?
it came from.
Derek said his name is Brescia.
Yes, Albertano of Brescia.
So is Brescia the location or his last name?
Both.
Oh, it is. Nice.
His last name is from the city.
Brescia is located in Italy. And that's where he was born and died. He lived from 1195 to 1270. So it's not his name. His last name is his location.
Right, the city where he's from, I imagine.
What did you say, Derek? Amazing. But anyway, however it is, he said, and I agree, the angry man always think he can do more than he can. And that means woman too. Man mean woman too. Female. The angry man always think he can do more than he can. Think about that. That's deep. That's so deep, it makes you want to holler, throw up both your hands. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Amazing, huh? The angry man thinks he can do more than he can. And I just insert the angry man or woman always think he or she can do more than he or she can. Amazing, huh? Think about when you're angry, and you are, don't you think you can do more than you can? You think you can help others? You think you can save others? You think that you can drive into a car dealership over there in Inglewood and get away with it because you're angry. What I realize that angry people don't know is that when you're angry, and most people all people have it until they work on themselves to overcome it. But angry people do not know that they're living in darkness. They do not know that they're separated from God. They do not know that they cannot see. I don't care what your religion is. If you have anger, I don't care how many rituals you do. If you have anger, you're separated from God. And you're operated in the darkness from a false nature. Not real. But you don't know that because you're angry. And then the angry spirit tell you, oh, anger is natural. Everybody has anger. You can't overcome anger. Even your psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor tell you, well, anger is normal. You just have to control it. While in the meantime, you're suffering in the darkness. And every decision you make will and will always be, is and will always be wrong. You cannot make a right decision in darkness. Isn't that amazing? When she's crying, she's lying. Now, I don't know if this is right, but you may have heard of this incident in New York. ABC 7 Eyewitness News is reporting the woman and NYPD lieutenant accused the highest ranking uniformed member of the force of sexual harassment. Did you hear about that? This female accused the police of sexual harassment. And in an emotional interview, Quatisha, and that right there, oh, Derek's on the phone. I think it's Quatisha. She's black, so it must be, what? Quatisha. It's a black name. That's why I can't say it. Epis talked about Jeffrey Mattery, the former NYPD chief of department. When she's crying, now I don't know what happened with these two people, but I do know when she's crying, she's lying. Watch this from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
This guy is a monster.
Lieutenant Quathisha Epps, for the first time, speaking openly about allegations of sexual harassment that prompted former NYPD Chief of Department Jeffrey Mattery to cut short his 33-year career in law enforcement, abruptly resigning as the highest-ranking uniformed officer in December.
Who's gonna believe me? Who can I talk to? Who can I tell?
Oh, Lord.
Epps, a 19-year NYPD veteran, sitting down with Eyewitness News alongside her attorney about the EEOC complaint she filed last year, which reads, Mattery engaged in quid pro quo sexual harassment and would coerce her into performing unwanted sexual favors in exchange for overtime opportunities. Overtime she previously expressed was needed after her two-income household dropped down to one income due to the COVID shutdown.
Amazing. Now, I don't know what happened, but I do know when she's crying, she's lying. She struggles to get through the details of the situation and says it went on for 18 months. So she had sex with this guy for 18 months, and now she's crying. Watch this.
Epps describing in explicit, disturbing detail the first time she says Mattery forced himself on her.
And he keeps saying that he's sorry. He's sick. It's like rubbing his chest. I'm still I'm like a chief of department.
The mother of three, struggling to get through the details.
1 second.
Yeah, rub on the back.
Please do. Maybe it will stop sooner.
She says Mattery, more than twice her size, had her pinned in a small space and she couldn't move.
I honestly don't know what was happening. I wasn't even connecting. Why me? You say you was going to protect me.
And for the next 18 months, Epps says Mattery would often corner her when the two were alone and force himself on her.
For 18 months. So what, they never got out of bed for 18 months? What the? How you stay in bed 18 months and do that?
And she got something out of it. She got overtime. She got like there was like she got a positive out of it in a sense. It was a transaction.
18 months in bed. Don't you get out of bed like go to the bathroom, go to work? And I heard that, Nick. That's what his attorney is saying.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. His attorney, the man's attorney, lawyer, an attorney for the chief, denied the allegations, stating that she, the woman that couldn't help herself for 18 months, and she's crying.
In late December.
And when she's crying, she's lying. I don't know what happened. They did or not, but I know when she's crying, she's lying. So the attorney for the chief denied the allegation, stating that she stole overtime. She stole overtime and once caught, tried to save herself. Watch this.
In late December, an attorney for Chief Madry denying the allegations and sharing his side of the story.
Lieutenant Epps had a consensual adult relationship, albeit for a short time, with Jeff.
Madry's attorney reiterating this position when we reached out to him about our interview, also saying Lieutenant Epps was suspended from the NYPD in mid-December for allegedly stealing time because it's believed she falsified timesheets and was paid for overtime that she never performed. It was only after she was accused of stealing that she decided to make up a story to try to save her own skin. We look forward to total vindication.
Amazing. I rest my case. Now, I don't know what happened, but my case is rested. When she's crying, she's lying. Her tears didn't even look real. What? Black tears are like heavy, and a whole bunch of them be running down, and then snot comes out of the nose, and that's a white girl tears because they're fake. Now, I don't know what happened in the situation. But you just heard the other point of view, the other side of the story. According to WESH2, an Orlando woman was arrested after attacking a man on Thursday. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, her weapon of choice was a Pringle chip can. What's this?
A Florida woman, Shanika Serdal, 28, was arrested for allegedly slashing a man's face with a Pringles can at a 7-Eleven in Orlando last Thursday. The attack occurred when Serdal, after calling the victim a bitch, struck him in the face, leaving a significant cut near his eye that authorities said could result in permanent scarring. The assault was reportedly unprovoked, with the victim simply informing the staff about another customer. Serdal fled the scene, but was soon apprehended by deputies and charged with aggravated battery.
And you still want to hold on to anger, huh? You still believe that anger is good. Righteous anger, you say. Look how destructive anger is. Anger is darkness. Anger is evil. And anger keeps you from truth. It keeps you from the light. It keeps you from God. It literally divides you so you can't see God. You can't be one with him. You just have ideas about God in your imagination, but you're miserable. Miserable. Lonely. Suicidal, desperate, revengeful, jealousy, gossip, just messed up. And yet you hold on to anger. I say, hey, let your anger go. Even God said, don't be angry. Don't let the anger go. Don't let the sun go down in your anger. But you hold on to it. You can hold on to your little anger and be like Whoopi Goldberg. Be just like Whoopi. Whoopi Goldberg is tight. And what a mess She is a mess. New York Post has reported that Whoopi Goldberg is facing backlash online for a rant on The View defending transgender athletes competing in females' events, leaving even a trans influencer, Dylan Macaroni. What? Dylan Mulvaney. Stunned in silence. The View co-hosts argue on air that women are strong enough to compete against transgender females because they know what they're doing. Watch this from X.
I think part of the problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. So when you come in and you say, oh, you know, these are men, you know, competing against women, you're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except be here. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing.
Amazing. If ever Whoopi Goldberg needed Jesus, she needed him now. And if you notice, she was even getting confused on how she was trying to say that. What the? Not George, Lord. Oh, why? Why, George? She went on to say, God doesn't make mistakes, and that God is looking to see how you treat people. This is from S as well.
So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue. The same for me as when people say, oh, you know, I don't know how I feel about you. You do. God doesn't make mistakes. No. And the challenge is not to the trans people, it's to the people who are not trans. That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Yeah.
That's what is happening.
Man, that guy, Matt Finger, he went, what the? She black. He like looking at her like, what the? That guy, McAfee, that's his name? Macaroni? Oh, more veins. More vanity. Whatever. But Whoopi Goldberg, you need Jesus. And in a hurry. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. You need to talk to the great white hope, Whoopi. He'll bring you to the Lord. I heard the anchor baby, the American anchor baby, discussing this yesterday on his show, which was an amazing discussion yesterday. If you missed it, you can podcast the American anchor baby. He's here Monday through Friday at 12 noon Pacific time. He was discussing with a caller, I believe, this thing in Canada where they knew, I don't know if he knew, but he's like one of the leaders of Canada. Is that guy the new president of Canada?
Doug Ford?
Yeah.
Or you're saying the new leader, Mark Carney?
I don't know, you're confusing me with
Apologies. You mean, when you said new leader, you mean
no,
of the whole thing?
That was a question. This Doug Ford, is he the new Prime Minister of Canada?
He's not. He's the Premier of Ontario, which is like saying a governor over here.
Oh, I got you.
Correct.
Okay, so he's like a governor over there in Canada.
It's because there's two bits of news. You know how they replaced Justin Trudeau? So I was wondering if you meant that guy.
Oh, no. There's one that talked about he was going to put tariff on electricity or something.
Yep.
And then he's going to turn it off.
Doug Ford. He's a conservative.
Is he?
Yep. The Liberals and Conservatives have both basically joined in on this trade war thing, and they're ramping it up.
Is he the same type of conservative like American conservatives?
Honestly, the conservatives in Canada are like the liberals here.
Oh.
It's kind of a good way of putting it.
No
but Doug
wonder.
Ford was supposed to be a little different. He's supposed to be kind of like Trump.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Doug was just playing.
Oh, no way.
He was trying to act like Trump and be tough. But when Trump didn't fall for it, he was like, I was just playing. I was just testing. I ain't mean it. New York Post. Ontario Premier
Yep.
Doug Ford announced Tuesday that Canada's most populous province was suspending its 25% surcharge on electricity exports to the U.S. Hours after President Trump announced additional 25% duties on Canadian aluminum and steel. So Doug, like, I just play. I just wanted to see what y'all going. I was just playing. Watch this from WPLG Local 10.
Stocks are down for a second day in a row amid a trade war with the nation's neighbors, as President Donald Trump announced Tuesday he plans to double planned tariffs on steel and aluminum from 25 to 50% for Canada.
All he's asking for at the end of the day are fair and balanced trade practices.
The White House says the tax hike is in response to the retaliatory tariffs from Ontario on electricity in 3 states, Michigan, Minnesota, and New York, that are set to take effect tomorrow. But now Ontario says they will temporarily suspend the plan to resume negotiations.
He has called and he said he's not going to do that. Okay, he's not going to do that. And it would have been a very bad thing if he did. And he's not going to do that, so I respect that.
He was a player. You can mess with the man, but you can't mess with Donald Trump. He was just playing. He ain't going to do no 25%. It was just tough talk. He thought it was Biden or the fallen Messiah, Obama. And then that little guy in Ukraine. Remember, he was trying to act all tough in the White House instead of just signing the deal and moving on. So like, no, you're not showing appreciation. You're not saying thank you. You can't go forward until you say thank you. You got to say thank you, please. And so the little Ukraine guy tried to act all tough. Trump's like, oh, okay. And then he changed his mind. I'll just play. Ukraine says it's ready to accept a U.S. proposal for a 30-day truce in Russia's war. Watch this from WPLG Local 10.
Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Saudi Arabia for high-level talks where he shared that Ukraine agreed to an American proposal for an immediate 30-day ceasefire and that the U.S. will lift its pause on military and intel support for Kyiv after they endorse this deal.
The Ukrainian delegation today made something very clear, that they share President Trump's vision for peace. They share his determination to end the fighting, to end the killing.
We want to get that war over with. So I think it's a very big, I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and this. So that's a total ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to it, and hopefully Russia will agree to it.
Amazing, huh? What manner of man is this? The wind and sea obeyed him. What manner of man is this? The wind and sea obey him. What manner of man is Donald Trump? You can never, this is so deep, I want to holler, throw up both my hands. You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. That's worth repeating. You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Christopher Columbus, a white man. A white man. One of the founder of the greatest country on this side of heaven. And you will never, ever find courage. Well, he discovered America, same thing. But white man still discovered it. However, thank you, hate. Hate is white, you want to be right. But you will never have the courage, and I'm adding this, to lose the sight of fear. You will never lose fear. You will never find the shore until you lose fear. You got to lose fear. Lose anger, you will lose fear. Lose fear, you will lose anger. And then you have a clear sight of the shore. Perfect peace. Right here on earth. But it's up to you. One other example of hell on earth and an amazing story. WTVC News, Channel 9. I want y'all to know you got to surrender. Not to a woman, not to a man. You got to surrender to the truth, and the truth will save you from your hell. The truth will bring you out of the prison of your imagination and emotion, every woman, if you want it, and man. But most people don't want it. They pretend they want it, and they go along with it for a while, the pretense, and then they get off. This is from KTVC News Channel 9. Police says a man in Sequatchie County found an 18-year-old in bed with his wife, who he then stabbed to death and stuffed his body in a trash can. Watch this.
Josh, Latricia, deputies say they were first called to Erlanger Sequatchie Hospital when they found a woman being threatened for non-life-threatening stab wounds. When they traced the attack back to a home in Sequatchie County, they discovered a much more violent scene.
It all started just after 7 a.m. on March 8th. According to this affidavit, when Sequatchie County deputies first spoke to the female victim in the hospital, she said an unidentified man had jumped on her boyfriend while they were in bed together. Investigators say when they got to the scene on Powerline Road, they found a man who told deputies he was actually the victim's husband. The affidavit says that husband, 41-year-old Jonathan Belk, was standing in the doorway, covered in blood with cuts on his hands. Court documents say deputies found 18-year-old Billie Jean Floyd's body inside a bloody trash can in the fetal position with multiple stab wounds. Sequatchie County Sheriff Bill Phillips says they haven't determined if there was a history of domestic violence.
Amazing, huh? So had that man not been living in his hell and then make the woman his God, if this story is true, he walked in and he caught them, he was like, oh, pretty cool, bye, I'm done. I wish you well. But instead, he made the woman his God. And when he caught his God out of order that he thought she should be in, he couldn't handle it. You should only have one God. Only one God. Because that's what you have anyway. You have Satan, your God, or you have God, your God, the real God. When asked if he was worried about his current legal situation, the man said he was concerned about his relationship with his wife. What the? Why is this?
According to this affidavit, when deputies asked Belk if he was worried about anything besides his current legal situation, he said, quote, I am worried about my relationship with my wife due to the fact that I offed him. Investigators are still searching for the knife used in the attack.
So he ain't worried about going to jail. He worried about his relationship with his wife. Off him mean killed him, by the way. Amazing, huh? A woman will even let you think you have control of her. She will let you think she's listening to you and she's obeying. But in secret, she's not. She's playing you. Look what this guy been accused of. 1 Corinthians 7 is Bible Thought for Thursday. 1 Corinthians 7:2. Seven two two. What does that mean? What? I'll come back to it. Thank you. What a mess. Amazing. This is hell on earth. And it's inside of human beings. Human beings bring hell out of themselves and put it onto others on earth. And people suffer because they don't know what's going on. We have the counseling service. Some of you might be aware of it. It's the best counseling service on this side of heaven. You may only need one section, but some people like two, and then they like to come back. Phone, Skype, or walk in. RebuildingTheMan.com or call 800-411-BOND. I cannot tell you the number. It's been 35 years now of men and women around the world, not just in America, who have been deceived by their wives and or their husbands. They played the role well. Whatever role that the man wanted her to be, she observed him and learned how to play that role to the T. Whether it's preacher role with the wife with the preacher, or the professor, or the doctor, or the Christian, or the Jew, or the Gentile, or whatever. Women are very cunning, and men are lost. Oh, yeah, I do it right. Let's do it that way, honey. Allegedly, this is from X, allegedly a trans person pulled a gun on a street preacher after he proclaimed God made men to be men and women to be women. This is allegedly now. I don't know if this happened from X. Watch this.
Harder, but you need to try less being like somebody you're not and start to humble yourself and be somebody that God made you to be. He didn't make a man to be a woman. He made the man to be a man. He didn't make the woman to be a man. He made the woman to be a woman. And this is the truth. What are you going to do? Come attack me now? I should. Hey, man, that's up to you. If you want to pull that on me, well, God bless you. So you just threatened me with a gun. You just pulled a gun on my face. Man, Lord have mercy on you. This means that you don't even know who you are. Nope, I still love you. Even though you pulled a gun on me, I still love you. I still bless you.
Think about that situation. First of all, this guy is wrong for being out on the streets preaching that. Really, that's judgment. And then the man, I guess it was a man pretending to be a woman, wrong for getting angry and put what looked like a gun out on the guy. Two devils. I think we had this guy on my radio, on my Father's Day show, I think. Two devils. Amazing, huh? You can't make anyone hear the truth, and you're wrong for trying to make them hear the truth. If you know that God doesn't try to make anyone hear the truth, He will offer it to you, but it's up to you to take it. He's not going to impose on you. He's not going to go out on the street and preach like that. Salvation's in the heart. And if you think that's something, hell on earth. Here's another example. NBC News. A House hearing ended abruptly on Tuesday after an exchange between a Republican and a Democrat committee member over the GOP chair misgendering so-called Representative Sarah McBride. Watch this from NBC News.
I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply...
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America, please?
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this
You
hearing.
will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Amazing. So the representative is allegedly a man in a dress, and they're getting mad at the man who will not address the man in a dress as a woman in government. Just think about that. In the United States of America, you allow this to happen in government. And now because some male want to say he's a female, he want to wear a dress and a wig to work. You know it's a man, according to the report. And they would get mad at you because you won't call this man a woman. In government, on TV, in government. And then two males arguing over it. Let me go to Arizona and talk to MARYAM. MARYAM, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, it's MARYAM again. I called a few days ago.
Okay.
Okay, so you know what? I agree with everything that you're saying, and I think the previous caller is in denial. There is such a thing as being lost. There is also such a thing, and my question is, why are we normalizing evil doing?
Because you are blind and can't see, and you call good evil and evil good.
Exactly, just like the who was it, Sarah McBride or whoever that was, the congressman. I don't know, but I just sitting there and expecting someone. We didn't misgender anything. It's true. You're a man.
That was so-called Sarah McBride. Right. And then what was interesting about that story, you got a male yelling at another male because he did the right thing. And he's yelling at him because he didn't call the male a woman. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, you know what? I also think it's trivial that people are still, like, look, humans, we have been around for a long time. And even thousands of years ago, however long we've been around, people understood, even the crazy ones, people understood there's male, there's female.
Right.
Why are you still, it's trivial to still be stuck on something that's so elementary, so kindergarten, so, it's so small, you have to move on. I can't believe that people are going backwards. It's very trivial.
Because this is hell on earth. And human hearts have not changed. When you change the heart, you change the person. And most people will not admit that they're evil. And as a result of it, their heart cannot change. That's why.
Yeah. And just like the previous caller, doesn't want to go to hell. Okay, but sure, you don't want to go to hell, but are your actions matching what you say? You don't want to go to hell. Are you doing good deeds? Are you trying not to sin? And I'm not saying that, I know that we all sin. I know that we try. But if you really don't want to go to hell, make sure that what you do on this life, on this earth, before you do pass on, because death is permanent.
And do you sin?
Be sure that you're. Yes, unfortunately, I do, and I've been really trying. But
And what is, if you can say, if it's not too personal, what is your sin?
I drink.
You drink?
I drink. Yeah,
and,
I drink.
And why do you call that a sin?
Well, I mean, because God says not to drink, and if you do want to drink, you know, let's.
When did God say not to drink, and when did He call it a sin?
Well, I grew up Muslim, so in the
Well,
in
no
the Quran,
wonder Allah Akbar. They lied to you. But when did God go ahead? When did God say it's a sin to drink?
I mean, it's bad for you. Alcohol
when did God?
is
So
bad.
you grew up Muslim, and in the Muslim Bible, does it say that?
Yes.
It says
you know,
that,
like if you. Sorry, go ahead.
It says that drinking is a sin.
Yes.
And
Drinking is a sin.
And what's a sin about it?
I mean, good things don't come from alcohol, from the influence of alcohol or any, just like drugs too.
But what
It's
is
wrong.
sinful about drinking? Nowhere does God call drinking a sin. The Allah Akbar Bible is lying to you.
Okay. I mean, we can agree to disagree, but, you know, like I say, and this is what I was trying to get at. Recently, I've, you know, had some, I also told myself I really don't want to go to hell. So I've been, you know, trying not to, I've been trying to live a life sin-free. It's hard. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's difficult, but I truly don't want to end up in hell. So I'm trying to get my actions right.
And how are you trying to live a sin-free life? What do you mean by that?
No sex out of wedlock. You know, do things that God said to do. One of them is also not drinking. And also just,
God did not tell you not to drink.
Well, we can, like I said, we can agree to disagree.
And so what else you doing to try to live a sin-free life?
Honestly,
you're not
going back to
drinking,
God.
you're not having sex, and what else?
I mean, honestly, I'm going back to God.
What?
I'm going back to God. Live like, yeah, you know, I stopped praying a long time ago. Started doing that, and just, you know, trying to keep myself from doing things that are.
But the things that you're
good.
trying not to do, you're doing them. You can't help it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy. You know, that's the journey. Sometimes you fall back, but you got to get up and keep going.
Want me to tell you how to get back to the Father immediately?
Sure.
Drop your anger. You
Yeah,
dropped your
I agree.
anger, you're back with the Father. That's the only sin that you're committing. Your heart is wicked, and you're playing God. Drop your anger, and then all these other things that, as a result of you playing God, you won't have to try not to drink. You won't have to try not to have sex. Those things will be taken away from you, and you'll be fine. Those are not the sin. The sin is your wicked heart. That's what's causing you to need a drink, because you have no peace.
Yes.
So why don't you drop your anger?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely working on that.
Why haven't you dropped it, or why don't you just drop it?
Honestly, I don't know how to get to forgiveness.
To forgive your mother, stop judging your mother. She can help herself.
Yeah.
You become like your mother. Your mother's heart is wicked unless she's changed. And you are wicked because you hate her and you're yearning for your father. Forgive your mother. God will forgive you, and you'll be back with the Father.
Amen. Definitely.
Why don't you do it?
I mean, I don't know. I just, like, I find
Because
it
all
hard
those other
to...
things that you're trying not to do, you're going to forever do them. It's when your heart is right, those things will be taken away from you. You can't stop yourself from doing those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So why don't you go and forgive your mother?
I will.
Why have you done?
I will. Because I couldn't.
Why not?
Couldn't.
Why not?
I mean, I don't know. I just found it hard to forgive, especially after everything else that's happened. I don't want to go into it, but
Right. How would God forgive you and draw you into the kingdom of heaven if you don't forgive your mother and your father for not protecting you from her? How would God forgive you if you don't forgive others?
That's a good question.
And the answer is?
I got to forgive. I got to drop my anger.
You got to face your mother. Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. Her mother did it to her. And then, because the way you're trying not to sin, you're getting deeper into what you're trying not to do. Because that's not the way out. The way out is you must forgive.
Okay. I'll definitely do that.
And I want to encourage you to start doing the silent prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/silent prayer. You can do your little Allahu Akbar thing. And once you do Allahu Akbar, then you be still and know God. And I promise you, if you stay with this, you're going to have perfect peace right here on earth.
Thank you. And I do agree with perfect peace. I know you don't really listen. When I say listen, I mean like you don't actually, you don't really listen to other people that say there's no such thing as perfect peace. Yes, there is.
Yes.
I just have yet to get there. I believe in it.
Right on.
I just have yet to get there, and it's a journey. But yes, I believe in perfect peace.
Well,
Thank you so much, Jesse.
You're welcome. Forgive your mother, and whatever her reaction is, that's on her. You're saying, I'm wrong for judging you, Mama. I realize you couldn't help yourself. And I'm wrong for judging you, Daddy, because you can help, you can protect me. You know how to handle Mama. And God will forgive you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wish you well, all right?
You too. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Let me go to Sky, a first-time caller out of Virginia. Sky, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Sky.
Hey, how are you?
Amazing.
I just wanted to say love your show, but I was calling to answer the biblical question.
Okay. Concerning race, which color would you choose to be right?
If I was to take a guess, I'd go with white. But I just feel like why does any race have to be either right or wrong? But let's just go after
Because it's a biblical question.
Let's just go with white.
Are you white?
No, I'm black.
Nice. So, concerning race, which color would you choose to be right? And you say white?
I'm going to choose white, yes.
And why white?
I don't really have much information to back it up. I mean, of course, we have stuff that's out there, paintings and all that, but you can't go off that. But, the white race is the right race, is just what I feel.
The white race is the right race. And what do you mean by paintings out there? What do you mean by that?
Just what they portray and what they show us, what they've always showed us. It's always been images of someone of, white skin rather than black. Yeah.
And do you like the white paintings? Do they look the best?
They look okay. They're not all the greatest, but hey.
And is Jesus white?
Is Jesus white? That's a whole other story. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
You don't know?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
But no, I just want to call to say too. I appreciate your show. I look forward to your answers.
Okay, yeah, I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. So let me ask. My producer want to know: do you love your race?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Oh, nice. Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
No, unfortunately, I have not done that yet.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
Wow, you sound young. Why haven't you gone and forgiven your mother?
No real reason other than the hassle of just preparing myself for it, I guess.
What do you mean?
Just prepare. First of all, she's not going to take it well. And she's done, personally, I feel like I've forgiven her, but to actually go to her and do it, it's just going to be a disaster. I can care less how she reacts, but it's just something that I would have to mentally prepare myself for, if that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
No.
Because once you see that you need to forgive her, that's all you need to know. You see that, yes, I do resent her. Yes, I am wrong because she couldn't help herself. You go and forgive. What else do you need to prepare for?
That's true. That's true. Because I do resent her.
And
I did. And yeah.
How will you ever have perfect peace? How will God forgive you if you don't go and forgive her?
Yeah, that's true.
No, that was a question.
That's a question. I guess I'm slowing down the process by not doing that, But like I said, I'm halfway there.
What do you mean by halfway?
It's something that I'm looking forward to doing within the next few months.
Why are you afraid to do it?
This is how crazy my life has been with my mother. I guess because we've come far as it's like we're in a weird spot right now of her kind of seeing that she screwed up, but not actually showing it emotionally. She's just not that kind of person. So it's just kind of I don't know. I guess I need to think about that.
Well, one thing I want you to know is that you're going to be afraid because you're angry at her. You resent it. Anyone that has anger has fear. And anyone that can make you angry, you fear them. So you're going to have the fear, but shaking your boots anyway, and don't have any expectation from her at all. You don't need her to apologize or anything. If she has a fit, if she says, I need to forgive you, and blah, 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 you let her say what she wants. And you just say, you know what, I'm sorry for resenting you, and I understand you couldn't help yourself now. And God will forgive you when you forgive her. And then the fear will disappear. You will no longer have fear.
Huh.
But you don't think that you're going to get your courage and then go. Courage only comes when you face the fear. You can't get the courage without facing the fear.
That makes sense.
So don't put off today for tomorrow what you can do today. Your life is not promised to you for tomorrow, and you don't want to die in that anger. You'll be stuck for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, I'll be dead and stuck. All right, yeah. Well, I'll follow up with this, sometime next week or so.
Okay. And why didn't your father, when you asked your father, why didn't he help you deal with your mother, what did he say?
He's more so apologetic. He apologized. And that's not even something that I actually asked him. It's something that he comes to me with all the time.
See?
Growing up.
Yeah. And what would he say to you about her?
Just how she just kept me away from him, and how she just made it hard for us to have a relationship, for him to even have a life, from child support to calling his job to just trying to come at his whole persona, not even just him as a parent.
Yeah.
He talks to me about this all the time.
What an evil woman, huh?
Yeah.
So you gotta, because that same spirit is inside of you, I recommend that you forgive her so that spirit of the mother, which is evil, will be taken away from you by God, and you will finally be you again. You will be of love.
Right.
All right?
All right.
Amazing, Scott. Let me know how it goes, and thank you for responding to the biblical question. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday.
All right. Thank you, Jesse. Bye.
Bye now. Can you imagine being stuck in a house with your stepmother for 20 years? According to this report, this man was stuck in the house for 20 years with his stepmama. It's bad enough with your real mama, but your stepmama, what the? CBS News has reported that a Connecticut man who said he was held captive for 20 years was rescued after setting the fire to his room and telling the first responder he did it to gain his freedom. This is according to the police. This is what they said on Wednesday. Watch this from CBS News.
Kimberly Sullivan stood in a Connecticut courtroom yesterday accused of cruelty and abusing her stepson for more than 20 years. Police say the victim, who is now 32 years old, told them he was kept a secret his entire life, locked away in his 8-by-9-foot room since he was 11. The emaciated man, who at 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighed only 68 pounds when he was found by police. According to the affidavit, he also told them he would only be given 2 cups of water a day, sometimes being forced to drink out of the toilet, and says he was only allowed out of his room to do chores for Sullivan. He says he was pulled out of school in the 4th grade and had had no contact with anyone. But last month, the Waterbury Fire Department was called to the home for reports of a fire they say was started by the man in his room. The man told first responders he believed it was his only way out. He was taken to the hospital, and that's when officials learned the details of his living conditions.
Isn't that amazing? How is that possible? For 20 years. I want to just finish this story about this man that allegedly was held captive for 20 years. And the only way he was able to get out finally, according to the report, he set the house on fire. His stepmother did this, according to this report. And so she's been charged with kidnapping, according to this report. The stepmother denied the allegations and is being held on a $300,000 bond. Watch this.
He lit that fire knowing he could very well die, but he'd been locked in that room for 20 years, and for 20 years he's been trying to get out of that room.
An attorney for Sullivan denied the claims of abuse.
Absolutely not true. He was not locked in a room. She did not restrain him in any way. She provided food. She provided shelter. She is blown away by these allegations.
Sullivan is being held on a $300,000 bond. She is due back in court at the end of the month. The victim remains in a medical facility for treatment. The details just get worse and worse. He told officials that he was hungry all day, every day of his life. He was able to start this fire by using hand sanitizer and printer paper.
Yeah, I read that he was drinking toilet water for
He would have to drink toilet water. He would get about 2 cups of water a day. He was barely allowed to go to the bathroom. The last time he bathed, he said, was 2 years ago. It's just horrible.
I am disturbed.
He's disturbed. Why he's disturbed? It didn't happen to him. What the? But it's amazing what thoughts the imagination can make you do. And yet you want to think you have a free will, that you're in control of your own life. Think about that. It's amazing that you are not in control of your own life, but you like to think that you are. As soon as you know that you're not, the sooner you'll be free. You're not in control of your own life. You don't even know who you are. I ask people all the time, who are you? They can't tell me. They say, well, I'm a mother, or I'm a carpenter, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm this and that. And they're telling me what they, and some people you say, I belong to God. Oh, I'm a child of God. So they're telling me what they do, who they think they belong to, but they never tell me who they are. Have you ever realized you do not know who you are? Think about that. And you can live a lifetime not knowing who you are. You don't know who you are. And everything you claim to be, that's not you. It's not you. But you say that that's who you are, and it's not you. And so you're living a false life, not even knowing that you're living a false life. You got to unlearn everything that you've been taught. All that you've been taught has been wrong, is wrong, and it never has worked, and it would never work. It's not going to work. You need a renewed mind. You got to overcome a reprobate mind. You have a new mind. You need a new mind. And you can have it. It's done. Everything been completed. The kingdom of heaven is within. You can have a perfect life right now. You don't have to live in hell. And it is hell on earth inside of you and outside of you, inside of others.